Hi guys, we are back today. Last week was a little bit of a busy week, just traveling home, and then I was immediately back to work afterwards. So, didn't really have time for a video last week. This week, we're back. Today, I want to talk about books again. I have just been reading so much this year, and I've just been loving it. And I just want to share that love and joy with you. So I thought today it would be kind of fun to rate the books that I've read this year, because I've read, let me check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm almost done with my 9th. So I'm nearly done with my 9th book of the year. So we're cruising through the year. But yeah, I thought it would be fun today to just go through all of those books and rate them on some sort of app. That means today we're going back on my laptop, like I like to do every once in a while. Usually it's for Pinterest. This time around, not so much. So the camera quality is gonna get worse. The audio quality probably gets worse, and I'm gonna be inverted and really fucking confused. So yeah, let's go talk about those 9 books. I feel like Good Mythical Morning right now. Let's talk about it. I'll see you in my laptop. Bye! We're back on the laptop, you guys. Hey! So, what I just did quickly is I pulled up an app called Storygraph, which you can get on your phone, you can get on your iPad. I pulled up the website on my laptop just for ease of use today, and I quickly made myself an account. Let's get started with the first book I read this year, which was The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. This was a book that took me a minute to get through, but ended up being really, I think, valuable to me as a reader and just very good in general. Okay, read. Add review. Yes. Okay. Ooh, I don't know. Probably reflective, I would say, and tense in some moments, but informative. Pace of the book. I would say medium. I would say, and not necessarily medium in the best way. In the way that some parts I felt like were very slow and some parts I felt like were very fast. But I feel like that's also a great way to kind of emulate the thought pattern of a woman struggling with mental health. So this feels like I'm gonna skip these. Okay, a star rating. I would give this book, what would I give this book? The Bell Jar. I'm trying to think. Now it feels like it was so long ago that I read this book that I'm like having a hard time remembering how I felt about it. I'll give it a 3.5. That feels really mean though. I don't know. Maybe a 4? 3.75. Does that, I don't know if that just went to the books page or to my page. Let's see. Okay. Next book I read this year was My Life with the Walter Boys. Loved this book when I read it. Loved it. Thought it was pretty well done. I mean, it's like definitely like a young adult romance, like it wasn't anything profound. A good trope, like it had a good story to it, easy to read, liked the characters, lighthearted, I would say. Pace of the book. See, now I'm gonna get confused because I also read My Return to the Walter Boys, which is the second one. I feel like this one was pretty medium paced. The second one was probably a little more fast paced. Rating. See, now this feels weird because I can't give The Bell Jar a 3.75 and then My Life with the Walter Boys anything higher than that. That doesn't, like, that's not fair. But you know what? This is my ranking. And this is my list. And I'm not saying that My Life with the Walter Boys is higher ranked than The Bell Jar, but there are some books on my list that I know will be, and it might feel wrong, but it's okay. It's my list. I would say 3.5. I always struggle a little bit with, what's the girl's name in that book? Shoot, Jackie. I struggle with Jackie a little bit because they just paint her to be so proper. It feels unrealistic for a high schooler in today's day and age. Regardless, 3.5. Next book I read, Funny Story by Emily Henry. Ooh, this was a good one. Again, lighthearted, I would say. Funny, I would say. I feel like there was some nice subplots in there that really added some dynamic to the characters, especially the fact that I forget her name. Whatever the girl's name is in that book, I feel like she has like good friend subplots in there, family subplots, like the character is more well-rounded. Pace of the book, if I'm remembering correctly, pretty medium. I think in a good way, like good pacing, didn't leave me like confused, didn't leave me like bored, but left me like wanting more, if that makes sense. So perfect, we'll leave it at medium. And now my rating. Ooh, this is a tough one. I'm gonna say 3.75 as well. Definitely a good, solid romance novel. Like, would recommend it to a friend, but wouldn't necessarily say it's in like my favorite books of all time. The fourth book I read this year was Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. This one was tough to get through, but again, I think really rewarding. I'd say very reflective, this one. Very, could be dark, I would say, emotional. I would say the pace of this book was pretty slow. I'd say I struggled to get through it somewhat because of Sally Rooney's writing style. And if you don't know Sally Rooney's writing style, it's very, I don't even know how to describe it. She almost speaks in phrases rather than sentences. This one, I would say, ooh, this is a hard one to rate. I think I'm gonna say 3.5 again. I think I'm gonna say 3.5. Would probably recommend it. Maybe I'll drop it to 3.25 because I would recommend it, but maybe with the asterisk of like it does maybe feel a little bit slow. Okay, next. Oh god, not this one. Okay, this one is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I didn't like it really at all. Like, I didn't like the characters. I didn't like the ending. The setting was a little confusing to me. Yeah, I just didn't really like it. And I know that it's so many people's favorite book and I really wanted to write it. I really wanted to like it. And I loved funny stories, so I know that Emily Henry can make a really, really good book. But this one was not for me. So, okay, lighthearted, I would say, funny. I would say pace was good. I would say pretty standard, not too slow, not too fast. I'm giving it 2 stars. And I'm sorry, it just to me was below average. It didn't hit me. It didn't click with me, and I'm sorry if it clicked with you. I do love Emily Henry's other work, like Funny Story was great. Okay, next is The Housemaid. Great book. Love this book. One of the first mystery books I've ever read. My mom told me to read this one because she loves a mystery book, and she read it and was like, this one is really good, really like universally like would recommend. Very good. I would say this book was well done and I really enjoyed it. So I would say mysterious. It's a great way to put it. Tense maybe. The pace of this book, it was good. I would say I was entertained throughout. I would say the second half of the book was maybe a little faster paced than the first half, but I think it averages out to medium. This rating, oh gosh, this is a tough one too. I'm sure I said that for every book I've pulled up, but because I right now in my head I'm thinking maybe a 4, but then I'm thinking, is this truly in some of my favorite books of all time? And I think maybe it is. I'm gonna give it 4 stars because this is one that I will solidly recommend to people. I will, like, with no doubt in my mind, like, you should read this. Okay, so this was my return to the Walter Boys. Fast-paced. I'm gonna just go ahead and say that. Way faster paced, it felt like, than the first book. Rating on this book. Let me think. Whatever I gave the first one, probably a little bit less than that. Probably 3.5, so I'll give this one like a 3.25, I think. But this one to me just felt like in both good ways and bad ways, exactly what I would have wanted. To the degree where I don't know, like I felt satisfied with it, but I also felt like there was potential for more. And I think this is the last one that I've technically finished. Better Than the Movies. Recently finished this one. I'm probably 20 pages away from finishing Nothing Like the Movies. Ooh, well this one's hard because I feel like the second book has made me like the first book more. The first book, when I read it, lighthearted, funny. We'll go with that. This one I could put emotional on, I think, because I think that the grieving trope in this book was done really tastefully and really honestly. The way that Liz kind of reacts to, like, spoiler, I mean, I guess not spoiler, but the passing of her mom, and the way she kind of treats the people around her in response to that, and in response to, like, going through a new chapter of life, felt very relatable, even though I've never lost, like, a loved one. Whereas with Jackie in My Life with the Walter Boys, her story is so extreme that it just feels like incomparable to some degree, if that makes sense. I'd say the pacing was medium. Rating on this one, because I think Nothing Like the Movies is gonna end up being probably a 4. So I think this one's gonna be 3.75 as well, because just a very solid romance novel. They were in a chapter of life that wasn't too far away from me, which I think is really nice. Like, with some of the Emily Henry reads, like they're fully adults, and with some of like My Life with the Boulder Boys, like they're early high school. So with Better Than the Movies and Nothing Like the Movies, they're like hitting right in like a age gap that I still really remember and relate to really deeply. So yeah, and the characters are just, I mean, Wes Bennet and everybody. Like, oh wait, fun. Okay, so you can see now, like it says I've read 8 books this year, 2,881 pages. Page numbers, most of them are 300 to 499, all fiction. All fiction. Hey, come on out. Okay, format, print, digital. Okay, I didn't read this digital, but it says it's digital, so that was maybe my bad. My most would read authors. What? 8 books read, and my average rating is a 3.41. So those are all the books I read this year so far. And I think next is gonna be Sunrise on the Reaping, because I've been told I'm like way behind on that train, and that book is so good. So happy Friday, TGIF. Thanks for watching, as always. Sorry if you don't like books. I'll see you next Friday. I hope you have a great week, a great weekend, and I love ya, and goodbye. Should we outro with more balloons? Okay, bye.